And I'm glad that Halloween Resurrection was over. That was horrifying. Okay, okay, Jigsaw, or whoever the hell you are. Okay, I'm done with your games. I've completed your task. Let me go. Get me out of this chain. I don't even know how you put this new chain on while I was watching the movie. That's beyond me. But the games are over. I'm tired of playing games. Let me go now.
Congratulations, Bert. You are still alive. However, you've only completed your first test, and you have many more to go. Now would be a good time to tell you that you have a deadly nerve agent coursing its way through your bloodstream. Within the next few hours, you'll be bleeding from every orifice of your body, unless you find the antidote in which I have provided in the safe next to you. For your next journey, you will be traveling through the hills of West Virginia with some inbred friends of mine. Of course, I'm referring to Wrong Turn, Part 3 through 6. The combination to the safe can be found in these movies. Their order can be found over the rainbow, so think hard. The numbers are in the back of your mind. Are you willing to stay alive by traveling in this journey? Live or die, Bert. The choice is yours. X marks the spot.
Oh, come on, man. I don't like those movies. Why are you doing this to me? Oh, come on. Dadgummit. Like, I don't get, I'm terrible at your games, man. Like the rainbows and women. He said something about X marks the spot. X marks the... Let's go! Ha! In your face! I'm gonna call my good buddy Brad, and he's gonna get me out of here. And game over, freak! Ha ha ha! Oh yeah, here we go. Here, actually, I'm going to put it on speaker so you can hear him.
Hello, you've reached Brad's phone. He's unavailable right now, but if you leave a message with your name and number, maybe he'll get back to you when he's a little less tied up. Have a good day.
You gotta be kidding me! Of all the... Why? What did I do?
What's going on, guys and gals, and welcome to Good Reel Hunting, where we hunt for the good reels so you don't have to. It's your boy Brad, the Brett Man's right over here. We're at part 2 of our Saw review series. It's going to be awesome. We're doing Saw 2 today. If you haven't seen our first review, we'll put a link for that right over Brett's head over there, so be sure to check that one out. That was a fun review and a great time. But we're excited to get into the sequel, baby.
Dude, I'm so excited to get into this sequel just because, like, of just what Saw brought to us the first one. We had no idea what that movie is going to, like, bring us. Now we have a little bit better understanding, even though we got those questions that the first Saw movie left off one that's like, we are begging what those answers are. So we're hoping this movie brings us some more answers, even though I have a feeling we're just going to get more questions.
Oh, right you are, Ted. Well, let's get right into this thing, man. Let's you tell us a little bit about it, and then we'll get rolling.
All right, I will go with the cast, as always, my friend, which is going to star Tobin Bell coming back as Jigsaw and one Mr. John Kramer. We also got your boy, Brad, Donnie Wahlberg, in this movie. We got Shawnee Smith, and we also have Diana Meyer, which is directed by Darren Lynn Fausto.
Bet you are. And this thing's about it's essentially about a detective that's not really feeling the gig anymore. And he's like, he's not doing things the right way anymore. He's pretty much a crooked detective, if you will. And he gets called out by your boy Jigsaw to come play a dang game. And that's what he does. He gets there. You think he's winning. Maybe not. We'll get more into that here in a little bit. So there's also a group of 6 individuals trapped in a house somewhere, and there's all kinds of weird shit going on there, and needle pits and everything you can imagine there, as well as a deadly nerve agent.
And oh yes, there will be blood.
Right you are.
Oh, yes. There will be blood.
Before we hop in here, just a spoiler warning. We are going to go spoilers within this movie. So if you have not seen this movie, stop this video, go watch Saw 2. It is on HBO Max currently, and come right back here to listen to our thoughts about this movie.
Right you are, Steve. What you like about this thing?
Man, there's just so much to like about this movie. Let's go to me with the big positive first. We got to go with our boy Tobin Bell as John Kramer and Jigsaw. Just an iconic character, once again brought to life. This time we get a lot better understanding of why he's doing the things that he does. He's not a murderer. He just gives him the opportunity to live. Of course, your boy Donnie Wahlberg said, well, that's bullshit, man. You're a murderer. But it's just like, it's an interesting thought.
He says it just like that too, guys.
No, like, it's an interesting thought though, just because like yes, he is putting them in the trap where like he is looking like he is a murderer, but he's not actually like pulling a trigger or anything. He's giving them the opportunity to live. So of course that's always a great just an idea to mess with in a horror movie. And yeah, dude, like again, the voice, the puppet, just I want to play a game. Like all that just freaking iconic, freaking great. I just can't say enough nice words about Tobin Bell's performance.
Yeah, and right you are. In this movie, he gets fleshed out a lot more, which is awesome. We see more about his character. We see more about John Kramer. We see more about his backstory and how he drove his car off a cliff after he was, after being diagnosed with cancer and all that, and how that turned his life around. I thought that was great to see all that backstory. And he carries this movie, man, from the time he first gets on screen to the ending, and it's awesome. He really captivates you on screen. This is probably my favorite performance he did throughout the whole franchise. So it was fantastic, man, as far as that stuff goes.
Yeah, absolutely. And the next big positive for me, it's just the whole concept with the house, like a death trap house. I think that is just extremely cool. And plus the rooms of those houses look super like very gross out too. Kind of like how we talked about how the bathroom, you could just feel that environment. I easily feel the environment of this house too. And plus what's dangerous about this house, like from the first death we get in the house with the whole gun in the peephole, you just don't know like what is in this house, what kind of traps, and that's just scary, man. It really is. And plus you got the nerve gas like being surrounded in the house too, that's just slowly killing you. So like you can't like dilly dick around, like you have to like go. And it's hard to do that when you don't know your damn surroundings. So I just love this whole concept of the house.
Yeah, overall, the traps in this thing were pretty solid. I mean, we had some good moments with the furnace downstairs, and then the needle pit, obviously. And I don't know what was up with that little hand reaching thing. That was a little weird and came out of left field, but it worked. I mean,
you're talking about the McDonald's lid.
Yeah,
because like I always imagine I always put like my finger down the McDonald's and it always reminds me of that damn trap. Like I even think I posted it on a meme the other day. Just thought it was hilarious, dude. Like I laugh every time, even though it's not damn funny because that looks like a brutal trap too.
It's pretty brutal. It just came out of nowhere, like how they randomly discovered it, after everything else was pretty much done. But either way, that's beside the point. I think the first thing I would want to do in a house is. I won't get into it. But anyway, the traps they were pretty good. I like the opening trap a lot too with the Venus flytrap.
Yes, another iconic trap.
Yeah, that one was pretty badass. So yeah, I mean, it was they upped the game with the traps here, making them a little bit more complex, which is fine. It wasn't too crazy for the most part. They were all pretty solid. And just more of them. So that was awesome. And that kind of goes with another positive, which this movie is. It's a little bit faster paced than the first one. I thought it goes by a little faster, and it goes, once the action starts rolling, it doesn't really stop at any point. I really like that. It goes by pretty fast when you're watching it.
Yeah, and that's just the whole idea of a sequel too. It says we're just going to take what we got from the first one, and we're just going to make it better with like the budget, the kills, the pacing, and I wouldn't say action, but kind of like what you said, just like just the scenes, like they're just like rapidly going at a great pace. So you're just not sitting there like it's nowhere near close to a slow burn in this movie. It's a very nice paced movie, so I totally agree with that. And of course, you got to talk about your boy Donnie Wahlberg, man, because as Detective Matthews, he was. I really enjoyed his character in this movie a lot. But no, I appreciate Donnie Wahlberg's performance in this movie, and it's just tell us about your boy, dude.
Dude, I love Donnie Wahlberg in this movie. I think I don't know what everybody else feels about him. I mean, obviously he's not winning any Oscars in this performance or anything like that, but to me, he added a little bit of I don't know. I mean, it's freaking Mark Wahlberg's brother in here in a Saw movie. I think it's fantastic. And he's just, he's always been more captivating for me. For whatever reason, just the way he's kind of rough around the edges, and he's just, he's got his tie kind of loosened up and stuff. Like, I'm like, this guy just doesn't give a fuck, man. But he's like, I just can't, I don't know. I've always enjoyed his character in this. And just the way that he, I don't know. I guess he does what you would want a character in this position to do whenever he finally finds Jigsaw, and then by the end of the movie, he beats the shit out of him. You're like, oh yeah, hell yeah. He's finally getting him. But ultimately, of course, that ends up not being a good plan, but it's like, it's kind of interesting. So I like that. And I like the dynamic between him and Tobin Bell's Jigsaw, or John Kramer in this. Just they had good chemistry together when they were sitting there and talking throughout the movie. I thought that was it was some of my favorite interactions in the whole franchise right there. I thought that was great. So I was a big fan of him being a big part of this. I was hoping he would be more involved after this movie, but unfortunately he wasn't. But it was great, man. He was awesome. Badass dude.
Yeah, really badass dude. And I agree with you. Just between Detective Matthews and John Kramer, really good stuff, really good chemistry. And let's talk about the last act, because I was a real fan. I really enjoyed the last act of the movie too, with the twist that we get at the end, that the live feeds, because as Detective Matthews and John Kramer are talking to each other, the other detectives like Riggs and Carrie are looking at the monitors and keeping track of the people in the house, and they get that feed of knowing where the source comes from, so they know oh, we found the house. They found the house, but they didn't find the house. They just found more monitors and all that, and the lost art of the VCR technology, where it was filmed. What was it, Brad? From 2 days ago, the trap.
Yeah, it's been a couple days, I believe. Yeah, it was a couple days, I think, and because once
it is, because the body, when Detective Matthews found the bodies of the house, they're really rotten and decomposed a little bit more. So yeah, it was about 2 days, and I really loved that. And then also the reveal that Amanda is the apprentice of Jigsaw. I thought, and just her story, with the whole recorder going, "Hello, Detective Matthews," and explaining all of that. I thought cool. That was really cool too.
I agree, man. It was cool. It's I don't know. That whole thing. Things were clicking in this one, man. They had freaking Amanda, they had Donnie Wahlberg, and then Jigsaw. All three of them worked pretty well together here in this movie, and it was nice to see, because even your protagonist in this, Mr. Matthews, he's not a good dude, right? He's out there, he's doing things the wrong way and all that, but he's I don't know, he just adds. It's kind of he's a flawed protagonist, and it makes things a little bit interesting, I think. So, it was cool, man, and I like all that stuff you just said with Amanda and everything, and how they go back to the bathroom in the first movie, although it doesn't look like it's in the same location as it was in the first one, but that's okay. All that stuff was fantastic. The ending here, this is one of my favorite endings in the franchise with this one, with the whole thing, because you get the Amanda reveal, and like I said, this whole movie, you think that maybe Donnie's got the upper hand at times, and then at the end, you're like, no, he fell right into this trap. You're like, maybe he's gonna save Daniel.
Yeah, well, technically, John Kramer didn't lie when they said that the boy was in a safe place. He was indeed in that safe place, in the little bank vault that was at Jigsaw's little hiding place. Oh, dude, what about that? When they first walk in and the puppet goes in, and then the guy's shins get broken.
Yeah.
To officers get electrocuted. Dude, that's messed up.
That was
Especially
so
the Shin
cool.
one.
Yeah, that was cool. They upped the driving game a little bit in this one on the way out there too. So that was cool. That was good to see. But they got there, they did the thing, they go in, the Shin's getting busted. That was awesome. And then they get up there and they just all freaking surround Jigsaw. And you're like, oh, but he looks like, Jigsaw's he planned on this, right? Like he doesn't seem very surprised. It was awesome, man. I love that sequence there.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you got any more positives you want to talk about, or should we just jump right into like any mixes you have, or even the negatives? Because I really don't honestly have a mix.
Yeah, we can jump straight to negatives. I would like to point out that this is the introduction of Detective Carey here in this movie, and she does a good job as well, kind of playing off of Detective Matthews, and obviously she'll move on to the next movie too, and things like that. So it was a good introduction. I thought she did good, and I liked her character as well.
Yeah, I enjoyed her character too, and we'll talk more about her in the next review for Saw 3.
Yes.
So, just jumping into the negatives, I guess like my real negative is like the characters in the house. They're cool and they interacted well with each other, but they're not really memorable to me, except for maybe
Batboy.
Batboy, no. Addison. Just because for me she's hot. Like, I don't know. Like, she's just really hot to me. But other than that, just like I really didn't care about the characters that much. I'm just pretty much just waiting just to see how they die. That's all I really was just interested in them. But other than that, they didn't bring nothing much to the story, really. Just like for the little like minor story arc. Yeah, and then what's that other girl's name? Like the blonde girl. Was it Laura?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, yeah, the Laura girl like that. She just dies of the poison only. Like, to me, her character's completely like just a waste. Like, she didn't need to be in the damn movie because, like, if you take her out, you're not really missing the beat, honestly. Because what she finds the little closet door that goes down to the furnace, and then like you got her just discovering the X on the picture and all that. And she dies. Like,
Yeah,
me,
that's a good point. That's a good point. She wasn't really much of a purpose in this thing. Just another. I mean, I guess unless you wanted to show how deadly the nerve agent was, maybe that's the reason she was in there. Like,
well, throughout the whole movie, they showed them coughing up blood. I'm not sure like what more you need from that. Which I thought that was cool too, but it's just kind of got annoying. Like, okay, yeah, we get it. Like,
it got really annoying at the end.
They're slowly dying. So
yeah. Everybody except for Daniel was dying. He seemed very fine. I don't know what the deal was with that. Maybe I bet he
got the antidote.
Yeah, he must have got slipped the antidote beforehand. He had to, because if he would have died during the process, then that would have ruined the whole plan. So whatever. Anyway, I guess Amanda got the antidote too. But it was so annoying at the end when the freaking Batboy was walking around like just stumbling around the hallways and stuff, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna let me get those numbers on the back of your mind." And
our boy Xavier.
Yeah, that guy. He's like, I'm gonna get those numbers, man. And like, I'm like, this guy's like just stumbling around the hallways and stuff, and like just I don't know, it was a little bit ridiculous. And he was a pretty good, like, he was a memorable character, I should say. He was annoying, quite a bit. But he kind of stands out from the rest of the gang there. But yeah, the characters overall, I wasn't a huge fan of. I liked some of them more than others, but Daniel was the only one I really had any, investment in, obviously. So, yeah, I mean, the acting wasn't very good either through most of this.
No,
even Amanda in this one, man.
A lot of like over the top acting moments in this, and and also like another thing too, they just like you got like it's just that classic horror trope we keep on seeing over and over again in this franchise. If they would just freaking work together,
yeah,
like. Come on, like they could have easily gotten their way out of it, or like that. Yeah, that's the big one for me. Like a lot of the traps in this one to me are really escapable, like in the house.
Yeah, a lot of them were.
Like the furnace one, if you would just look at your surroundings, you could easily see, the whole knob and to turn off the furnace. And then the needle one, like if like multiple people could be jumping in there, just to look for the key. Like again, the power of working together, you can save your damn life.
Yeah, and we'll learn more about that in Saw 5. But anyway, Yeah, yeah, you're right. Some of the traps were kind of like that. I just, like I thought even in this movie, Amanda's character, her acting was not very good in this movie at all.
Mhm.
Just kind of over the top and just I don't know. I wasn't a
Yeah,
fan.
like a step down from the first Saw movie.
Yeah, and she's better in the third one too. But I don't know, for some reason I just wasn't really into her character that much in this one. I mean, until the end, I like her reveal at the end. But
Mhm.
and yeah, plenty of dumb decisions in here, man. I mean, just all throughout. I just of course, and we come to expect that in this day and age. But yeah, plenty of those. Plenty of
Yeah,
those.
and freaking Obi he could have easily handed the two antidotes, but instead he was a selfish asshole and kept the two antidotes in the furnace while buzzing out with the other hand. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it's like, come on, Obi.
He's not an Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, it's like, come on, Obi, you're our only hope.
Yeah.
Before we get into more Star Wars puns, but yeah, for the most part, it's characters like them working like the obvious horror tropes are really noticeable. Like, as to me, like I don't mind horror tropes. Like if you could just like hide them a little bit, like just the
Yeah.
best you can. But like this one is just way too obvious, and they're really just shoving it in your face for the entire time.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But yeah, man, I mean, that's pretty much everything. I mean, if the rest of the stuff I could throw out would be nitpicks. I mean, it's
Mhm.
not a huge deal. Overall, I get a lot of enjoyment out of this movie. It's pretty high up in my ranking, I would say. So,
Oh yeah,
uh,
same here. Like if they would just nitpick at some things, like kind of like you said, like just change a couple things around, this one could really compete with the first Saw movie about being the best in the series.
for sure, man, for sure. It does, yeah, it does some good things. I think if you had some better characters in there, maybe less characters. I think that was a part of the problem too. Is there's just too
Hmm.
many characters to keep up with in the house, and it's really only done just so they can have more traps and more deaths and stuff. So I think, I don't know. What works so well about the first one is you only have two characters in this trap and you get to know each of them very well throughout
Hmm.
the runtime. In this one, you don't really have that. There's so many people to keep up with. You don't really care about any of them except
Hmm.
for Daniel to some extent. And then Detective Matthews is your protagonist, but he's kind of, he's
Also,
not
the
the
bad
best.
guy.
Yeah, sure. And yeah, I mean, so yeah, you had that dynamic. It was cool. Again, though, it's enjoyable. I have a good time with this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And back to a positive real quick, because we forgot to mention this in the first Saw movie,
Oh
and
yeah,
we're a little bit of ashamed of ourselves. The score,
yeah,
like the
yeah.
whole like da da
Do,
da.
do, do, do.
Yeah, freaking iconic, man. We just want to give that a quick shout out because that is easily a major, major positive. That's just a score in this entire, almost pretty much in the entire Saw series. It's really, really good.
Yeah, for sure. And there's some pretty good cinematography in this movie too. I didn't think about earlier, but this has the most iconic shot of the puppet doll of the whole franchise, where he's at the top
Hmm.
of the stairs. That's kind of what that's a good time, man. But yeah, that's it, man. That's it.
All right, that's it for me too. So let's before actually we go to the movie ratings, including with this Saw series that we are doing, we're also going to be saying what our favorite trap is. So Brad, what is your favorite trap?
This one came down to a couple of options for me, but I'm going to go with the Venus flytrap from the beginning with the key behind the eye. I've always thought that was really cool. It's one of my favorite questions I've asked myself through watching this franchise is if I could freaking gouge my eye out to get a key out.
Hmm.
So I thought that was pretty awesome. And then it's pretty brutal when it actually happens with the blood dripping out and stuff.
Oh
So that
yeah,
one,
that was a really nice shot.
absolutely.
Um, yeah, it's going to be that just because I imagine myself like hell. I got glasses on, so I can't even like freaking come close to my eye without twitching. So I know I couldn't do it. And like hell, again, if I can't do contacts, I obviously can't cut out my own eye. But I want. So I guess that's my favorite trap. I want to give a high honorable mention to the needle pits because
Yeah,
just
that's what this movie's
when
most known for.
Amanda, yeah, when Amanda gets tossed in there, dude, the pain in her like her old face and all that, like you feel that once she makes collision with those needles and her just going ape shit,
Yeah.
like that's gotta freaking hurt. Plus, you don't even know where their needles come from, so that can easily give you a disease or kill you. So, like, I
That was
just
a
want
good
to give a high props to the needle pin.
And that's a good point. That's a good part of her performance too. I know I kind of threw some shade at her acting there earlier, but this part was pretty solid when she gets chucked in there.
Like, I agree with you, but yeah, that one obviously was her high one for this
Yeah.
movie.
For sure,
I said
man.
hi, Needle. But yeah, okay, besides the point. Yeah, I should have saw that coming. Okay, I'm gonna stop. All right, let's go to the movie ratings. So I'm gonna give this movie a 4 out of 5. It's really, what do you got there? What do you got there?
Go ahead and rate it out, dog.
All right. I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 5. It's really fast paced. They have created a successful sequel horror movie. Those are a lot of times hard to pull off, but I think they really succeeded. So I'm giving this a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I'll jump with you on that train too. I'm gonna when we go through this franchise, obviously I'm gonna be rating these for what they are, right? That's what I do with my ratings. And this one for a Saw movie is good. It's damn good. It's 4 out of 5 for me too.
Very awesome. So that's easy math right there. 448 divided by 2 is 4. So we're going to that old Tosche station to get some power converters.
I was going into Tosche Station to pick up some power converters.
Yes, we are. Let's go there, and hopefully we don't get stuck in any traps on the way. Woohoo!
God, I know, man. I just what I went through for just to get to this Saw review series with you, but it was just pure hell. So I can't. What happens after this? It just goes bonkers. So we can get there. I got a question.
Yeah.
What did you all think about Saw 2? Did you enjoy this Saw sequel like we did? Or did you have a lot of problems with it that you don't enjoy it quite as much? Let us know in that comment section down below. And let's get that discussion rolling.
And if you want to help us find the good reels, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd, Snapchat, Spotify, and Apple freaking Podcast. Those links are in the description for you to find.
Damn, you went so fast. So let me see if I can keep up with you. So be sure to like this video, share, and subscribe. And of course, ring that bell, ding, 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 so you know when the next game is up and ready.
And we will play a game again very soon. Do 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 do.
See you guys.